Every year, people make resolutions. They say, this year will be different, but nothing changes because they try to change their life without changing themselves. Transformation doesn't begin with a calendar, it begins with a decision. If you want 2025 to be the year your life truly changes, you must live by a new set of rules, rules that separate the average from the exceptional, the drifters from the doers, the wishers from the winners. These are not just habits. They're principles that turn ordinary existence into a life of purpose, power, and peace. Rule number 1, decide who you're going to be. Not what you're going to do, but who you're going to become. Because everything you do flows from who you are. Until you decide that the old version of you is expired, the new version can't emerge. You don't need another plan. You need a new person living inside that plan. Transformation starts when you say, I've had enough of living beneath my potential. The moment you make that decision, the universe rearranges itself to help you become what you decided to be. Rule number 2, live by discipline, not emotion. Your emotions are like the weather, they change every day. But discipline, that's the climate that creates consistency. You can't transform your life if you're only productive when you feel like it. Every great person learns to act their way into feeling instead of waiting to feel their way into action. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It's not punishment, it's the path to freedom. Rule number 3, master your mind. You can't win externally while losing internally. Your mind is the control tower of your life. Whatever dominates your thoughts will eventually shape your reality. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think lack, you'll attract lack. But if you train your mind to focus on growth, gratitude, and greatness, everything around you will begin to align with that. Guard your mind like a fortress. Don't let doubt, fear, or negativity rent space in your head for free. Rule number 4, honor the law of sowing and reaping. Too many people want to harvest what they never planted. Life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you plant, water, and protect. You can't plant laziness and expect abundance. You can't sow excuses and expect excellence. Every decision is a seed. Every action is a planting. Every season has a harvest. Don't get weary if your results don't show up immediately. Seeds grow underground long before they ever appear above the surface. Keep planting in faith. Your season is coming. Rule number 5, surround yourself with people who challenge you, not comfort you. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in correction zones. If everyone around you agrees with you, you're not growing. You're coasting. Your circle should provoke you to become better, to dream bigger, to believe deeper. Stop seeking validation from people who've never built what you're trying. G, to build. Iron sharpens iron, and dull people can't sharpen you. Choose associations that stretch you, conversations that expand you, and mentors who pull you toward your destiny. Number 6, operate from vision, not memory. Too many people live out of what was instead of what could be. They're replaying old failures, repeating old patterns, recycling old stories, but you cannot drive forward looking in the rearview mirror. Vision gives pain a purpose. It gives problems direction, turns adversity into advantage. Don't let your past dictate your possibilities. Let your vision dictate your actions. The moment you start living from vision, you stop reacting to circumstances and start responding to destiny. Rule number 7, learn to delay gratification. Success is not built on instant results, it's built on consistent effort. Every time you delay pleasure to pursue purpose, you build inner strength. Don't trade what you want most for what you want now. The people who make it big in life are not the most talented, they're the most patient. They understand that time is the currency of growth and that anything worth building takes longer than expected. Rule number 8, speak life over yourself. Your words are seeds. Speak faith when you feel fear. Speak abundance when you see lack. Speak progress even when you're standing in pain. Every word you release carries energy. Your tongue is a creative force. Stop speaking curses over your future by repeating what's wrong. Start declaring what's right, what's possible, and what's promised. The more you speak life, the more life responds. Rule number 9, turn adversity into assignment. Every obstacle carries a lesson, and every setback carries a seed of greatness. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. The struggle is not proof that you're failing, it's evidence that you're being forged. Don't run from resistance, let it refine you. The pain you overcome today will become the power you use to lead others tomorrow. Rule number 10, live with gratitude and faith. Gratitude keeps you grounded and faith keeps you growing. When you're grateful, you stop complaining about what's missing and start celebrating what's present. When you walk by faith, you stop needing to see every step before taking the first one. Gratitude turns small things into big blessings. Faith turns impossible things into possible outcomes. Together, they transform your perspective, and your perspective determines your progress. In 2025, stop waiting for the world to change. Decide to change yourself. Stop asking for easier problems and start becoming a stronger person. These 10 rules are not just principles to live by, they are tools to transform by. You don't need a miracle to change your life. You need movement in the right direction daily. Every day you choose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, faith over fear, and purpose over pleasure. You are transforming your life one decision at a time. As this year unfolds, don't just survive, elevate, don't just exist, expand, don't just dream, decide, because when you live by these 10 rules, 2025 won't just be another year on the calendar, it'll be the year your destiny begins to manifest. Hebrew change begins with a decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a feeling, a decision. The kind of decision that comes from the core of your being when you finally say, enough. I refuse to live another year the same way. Every transformation in history started when someone made up their mind that they would no longer tolerate mediocrity. The truth is, you will never change your life until you change what you are willing to accept from yourself. Most people say they want to change, but they keep negotiating with their excuses. They want new results without a new mindset. They want a new life without letting go of the old one. But you cannot conquer what you continue to tolerate. The moment you stop justifying your limitations, you open the door to your transformation. A real decision means you cut off every other possibility. You don't keep a backup plan. You don't keep the door open to your past. You burn the bridges that lead you back to the version of you that keeps settling. A decision is not made with your mouth. It's made with your actions. You can say, I want to be successful, but until your habits match that statement, it's just talk. When you truly decide, everything inside you aligns, your focus, your energy, your time, your discipline. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing character. You stop waiting for motivation and start creating movement. Because a decision is not about feeling ready. It's about declaring readiness. Every time you make a true decision, you send a message to the universe that says, I'm serious now. And that seriousness activates opportunity. Doors start opening that were once locked. People start appearing who were once absent. Circumstances begin to shift in your favor, not because luck changed, but because your level of commitment did. If you want to transform your life in 2025, you must decide who you will be before the year decides it for you. Decide that the old patterns stop here. Decide that the excuses end now. Decide that you will not live another day in the same cycle of delay and doubt. One real decision can do more for your destiny than 1,000 plans that never start. You don't need more time. You need more resolve. The moment you decide, your future begins to rearrange itself around that decision. Discipline is the bridge to freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But that's not freedom, that's chaos. Real freedom is the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline gives you control over your impulses, and that control gives you power. Without discipline, your desires become your master. With discipline, they become your servant. Every successful person you admire is not more talented than you. They're just more consistent. They made a decision once and disciplined themselves to honor it daily. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's waking up when your body says sleep. It's pushing forward when your emotions say quit. It's doing the hard thing now so that life becomes easier later. You either suffer from the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, but only one leads to freedom. Discipline may feel like restriction in the moment, but it's the key that unlocks your potential. When you discipline your time, you gain freedom from procrastination. When you discipline your finances, you gain freedom from debt. When you discipline your thoughts, you gain freedom from fear. The very things people avoid because they feel hard are the things that make them unstoppable. What you control eventually serves you. What you avoid eventually controls you. Discipline is a daily decision, not a one-time choice. It's the invisible work behind visible success. The person who practices discipline becomes dangerous, not because of luck or chance, but because of control. They no longer need to rely on motivation or emotion. They operate by principle. They understand that emotion may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. If you truly want to transform your life in 2025, don't chase comfort, chase consistency. Because the moment you choose discipline, you choose destiny. Freedom is not found in avoiding responsibility, it's found in mastering it. Discipline builds strength, and strength creates options. And the person with options is the person who's truly free. Master your mind, master your life. Everything you experience begins in the unseen world of your thoughts. Your life will always move in the direction of your most dominant thinking. If your mind is filled with fear, your life will reflect fear. If your mind is filled with faith, your life will reflect power. The greatest battles you'll ever fight won't happen around you, they'll happen within you. Because before you can win in life, you must first win in your mind. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant doubt, you'll harvest hesitation. If you plant faith, you'll harvest confidence. Too many people water weeds and wonder why their lives are overrun with problems. The truth is, your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. You can't build a positive life with a negative mind. You can't expect victory while rehearsing defeat. E. Brewer. You must take control of what enters and stays in your mind. Every day, the world tries to program you with fear, comparison, and distraction. But you have the power to choose what you allow in. You can't stop birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from building a nest there. That's what mastering your mind is about, protecting your mental space so you can create the life you want instead of reacting to the one the world hands you. Your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. That's why success doesn't begin with doing more. It begins with thinking differently. When you think abundance, you start seeing opportunity. When you think gratitude, you start seeing blessings. When you think strength, you start seeing victory. Whatever you consistently think about, you magnetize into your life. Mastering your mind doesn't mean you'll never have negative thoughts. It means those thoughts will no longer control you. It means you replace fear with focus, worry with wisdom, and doubt with determination. You stop reacting to every emotion and start responding from conviction. You learn to speak truth to your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts speak lies to you. If you want to rise higher in 2025, start by rising higher in your mind. Feed your mind with truth, challenge, and vision every single day. Because when your mind is strong, your path becomes clear. When your thoughts align with your purpose, your life aligns with your destiny. You can't change your circumstances overnight, but you can change your thinking today. And when you do, everything else will eventually follow. Sow before you reap. That's not just a principle of farming, it's a law of life. Everything in this world operates by the law of seed, time, and harvest. You cannot expect to harvest what you haven't planted. Too many people are asking for results they haven't earned, outcomes they haven't invested in, and blessings they haven't prepared for. Life doesn't give you what you wish for, it gives you what you plant, nurture, and protect. Every thought, every action, every word you speak is a seed. When you plant consistency, you reap progress. When you plant kindness, you reap connection. When you plant laziness, you reap lack. The soil of life is always fair. It never gives you what you don't plant. The problem is not that the ground is hard, it's that most people stopped sowing because they didn't see immediate results. But the seed grows underground long before it breaks the surface. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean growth isn't happening. There's a time to sow and a time to reap, and the time in between tests your faith. Most people give up in that in-between season. They plant for a week, don't see change, and call it failure. But true transformation takes time. The farmer doesn't plant one day and harvest the next. He plants, waters, protects, and waits. He trusts that the process is working even when he can't see it. That's how faith operates. You keep working, believing, and sowing, even when there's no visible evidence that your effort is paying off. Every area of your life requires sowing. If you want wisdom, sow study. If you want success, sow service. If you want peace, sow forgiveness. You can't keep taking shortcuts and expect long-term results. You can't reap strength if you've only sown comfort. The level of your harvest will always match the level of your investment. What you do in private determines what you harvest in public. And here's the secret: the more you sow, the greater your capacity to receive. When you live with an open hand, giving your time, your energy, your excellence, you position yourself for increase. The people who multiply in life are not those who hoard, they're those who plant. Every seed you give, whether it's effort, love, or commitment, creates a future you can't yet see. So as you step into 2025, don't wait for blessings to fall from the sky. Plant them. Plant faith, plant discipline, plant excellence, plant patience. Because when you keep sowing in the right direction, your harvest becomes inevitable. You don't have to chase success. It will find you in due season. Just keep your hands in the soil, your heart in faith, and your eyes on the harvest that's coming. Surround yourself with growth. You can't evolve in an environment that's comfortable with staying the same. The people you spend time with are either your ladder or your cage. They either lift you higher or lock you down. Growth requires an atmosphere that challenges you, not one that coddles you. You can't rise surrounded by people who are content with average thinking and small dreams. If everyone in your circle is comfortable where they are, it's time to find a new circle. Every environment carries a frequency, and you become what you're exposed to. If you're always around people who complain, soon you'll find yourself complaining. If you're around people who expect excellence, you'll start demanding more from yourself. You mirror the energy of your surroundings. That's why growth-minded people are intentional about their associations. They know proximity is power. Who you walk with determines how far you go. Sometimes growth will require separation, not because you're better than others, but because you're becoming different. You can love people without limiting yourself to their level. Growth doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means connecting to people who pull the best out of you. It's finding those who challenge your excuses, call out your potential, and won't let you settle for mediocrity. You don't need a crowd. You need alignment. One conversation with the right person can shift the entire trajectory of your life. If you surround yourself with visionaries, your faith grows. If you surround yourself with thinkers, your ideas grow. If you surround yourself with disciplined people, your consistency grows. Your environment is either feeding your future or starving it. That's why you must guard your proximity like treasure. Don't let just anyone speak into your life. Words are seeds, and you can't afford to let people plant doubt where you're trying to grow destiny. You have to make a decision to outgrow the noise. Don't stay in circles where you're A and B. Ishin feels like arrogance, or where your goals make others uncomfortable. The right people won't be intimidated by your growth. They'll inspire it. They'll remind you that it's okay to dream big, to expect more, and to evolve beyond who you used to be. So in 2025, build an environment of elevation. Read around thinkers who stretch you. Listen to voices that challenge your limits. Spend time with people who talk about purpose, not just problems. Because the truth is, you will never grow beyond the company you keep. Surround yourself with growth and watch how quickly your life begins to multiply in every area. We operate from vision, not memory. Too many people live their lives trapped in the patterns of their past. They make decisions based on what they've been through instead of where they're going. But memory is history. Vision is destiny. Your memory reminds you of what was, but your vision reveals what can be. If you keep operating from memory, you'll keep repeating the same cycles. But when you start operating from vision, you begin creating something entirely new. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't define you. Memory looks backward, but vision looks forward. Memory is limited by experience, but vision is fueled by imagination. You can't build a new future with the same thoughts that built your old one. Every breakthrough begins when you stop asking what happened and start asking what's possible. The people who live extraordinary lives are those who decided to stop rehearsing their past and start designing their future. Operating from vision means letting go of what no longer serves your purpose. You can't walk into the new season still carrying the weight of old disappointments. Stop letting past pain dictate present choices. The failures that once broke you are now lessons meant to build you. Vision allows you to see beyond the pain, beyond the delay, beyond the doubt. It allows you to look at what is and still believe in what will be. Your memory will tell you to play it safe, to settle for what's familiar, to avoid risk. But your vision will call you to stretch, to trust, to build, to believe. Vision is uncomfortable because it demands faith over logic. It asks you to act before you see results, to step forward before you have guarantees. But that's where transformation lives, in the space between what is visible and what is possible. When you live by memory, your identity stays tied to your history. But when you live by vision, your identity aligns with your destiny. You stop saying, this is who I've always been, and start declaring, this is who I'm becoming. Vision turns limitation into direction and failure into foundation. It changes the way you see yourself and what you believe is achievable. So as you walk into 2025, don't let the past make your decisions for you. You are not the same person you were last year. The version of you that's emerging is guided by purpose, not by pain. Keep your eyes on the future that's Cal. Ling your name. See the unseen. Believe the impossible. Move forward even when memory tempts you to retreat, because the more you operate from vision, the more your life begins to align with the greatness you were created to live. Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens by alignment. When you live by the rules of purpose, discipline, and faith, you stop surviving and start evolving. You become intentional about who you are becoming, not just what you are doing. The truth is, no one stumbles into greatness, they grow into it. Every decision you make, every habit you keep, every thought you nurture becomes a brick in the foundation of your destiny. In 2025, don't chase motivation, chase mastery. Don't wait for opportunity, prepare for it. Don't wish for change, become the change. The life you desire isn't waiting for a miracle, it's waiting for your movement. You are one decision away from a completely different reality, one act of discipline away from a new level of freedom, one shift in mindset away from unlocking everything that's been inside you all along. Your transformation will not come from what happens to you, but from what happens within you. When you decide to think higher, live deeper, and act bolder, life begins to mirror that decision. The old you was built on survival, but the new you will be built on strategy, vision, and belief. So this year, choose to build, choose to plant, choose to grow. Abra, because 2025 isn't just another year, it's your proving ground. It's the year you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start becoming the kind of person who creates them. It's the year you silence doubt, stretch your faith, and walk boldly into your purpose. Remember, your life will not change because time passes. It will change because you decide to transform. And when you do, everything around you will begin to change too.